There are leaders, and there are those who lead. Start with why is about a naturally occurring pattern, a way of thinking, acting, and communicating that gives some leaders the ability to inspire those around them. The more organizations and people who learn to also start with WHY, the more people there will be who wake up feeling fulfilled by the work they do. In early 1900s, two teams, unknown to each other, embarked upon the same quest, the quest to fly. Samuel Langley was a well-known professor with powerful friends like Andrew Carnegie and Alexander Graham Bell. With a grant of $50,000 and a team comprising some of the best brains of the time, Langley set off to fly, at the same time in Dayton, Ohio. The Wright brothers put together a prototype in their humble bicycle shop, without any funding or any top-notch team. On December 17, 1903, Wright brothers became the first men to fly. Why did a well-funded and better qualified team fail in front of humble bicycle workshop owners? Do we know the real reason behind why so many organizations succeed and some don't? Read on to find out. Part1:world that doesn't start with WHY. The chances are you're selling a product that someone else is selling with similar features at a similar price. So how do we attract customers? Usually when asked why your customers shop with you, you say it's because of your features or price. So in other words, we have no idea. It's the same with our employees. There are two ways to influence BEVE: inspire or manipulate. We manipulate the whole time, sales promotion set. Asterisk, manipulation works. Prices, promotions, fear, aspirations, novelty, and peer pressure are all used to manipulate and motivate a purchase. All of these techniques work, but none of them is sustainable. They are short-term wins and don't encourage loyalty. In terms of leadership, they can help you reach the top, but they won't make people follow you. Leadership is the ability to rally people not for a single event, but for years. In business, leadership means that customers will continue to support your company even when you slip up. There is a big difference between repeat business and loyalty. Repeat business is when people do business with you multiple times. Loyalty is when people are willing to turn down a better product or a better price to continue doing business with you. Loyal customers often don't even bother to research the competition or entertain other options. Loyalty is not easily won. Repeat business, however, is all it takes is more manipulations. The thing is that all of this manipulation has a cost and isn't sustainable. Part 2: an alternative perspective. The golden circle, there are a few leaders who choose to inspire rather than manipulate in order to motivate people, whether individuals or organizations. Every single one of these inspiring leaders thinks, acts, and communicates exactly the same way. And it's the complete opposite of the rest of us. Consciously or not, how they do it is by following a naturally occurring pattern that Sinek calls the golden circle. The golden circle shows how these leaders were able to inspire action instead of manipulating people to act. Asterisk. What? Every company in the world knows what they do, i.e. they can describe their product or service. Asterisk. How? Some companies know how they do what they do. They know how they're different, i.e. a unique selling point. Asterisk. Why? Very few companies know why they do what they do, and it's not to make money. This is a result. Why do you get out of bed in the morning? What is the company's purpose, and why should anyone care? Normal companies communicate to there from the outside in and then have some call to action. This is what we do. This is how we do it. For example, if Apple was like everyone else, they would sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed and easy to use. Want to buy one? Inspiring companies start with why. There's no trickery or manipulation. They just reverse the order of the information. For example, in everything that we do, we believe in challenging the status quo and thinking differently. The way we do this is to design products that are beautifully designed and easy to use. We just so happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? In fact, they're not really reversing here information because they start with why all the time. They think and communicate differently. The why engages us emotionally, while the what and how serve. As evidence of the belief, other companies can copy what you do or how you do it. But they will never be the same if they don't start with why. People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. Part 3. Leaders need a following as members of the human race. We are attracted to those who have the same values and beliefs as us, i.e., we are attracted to cultures where our values and beliefs align with it. When we believe the same things, trust emerges. This is what allowed us to leave our families behind to go and hunt, knowing they would be protected by the people who share our beliefs. When we recruit employees, we should recruit people who believe what we believe so that we can trust one another, instead of hiring purely based on skills and experience. In order for leaders to build a following, they must be trusted. The emergence of trust. Trust is not a checklist, fulfilling all. Your responsibilities does not create trust. Trust is a feeling, not a rational experience. We trust some people and companies even when things go wrong. And we don't trust others even though everything might have gone exactly as it should have. You have to earn trust by communicating and demonstrating that you share the same values and beliefs. You have to talk about your WHY and prove it with what you do. Again, a WHY is just a belief. Hows are the actions we take to realize that belief? And the whats are the results of those actions. When all three are in balance, trust is built and value is perceived. When you hire people who believe what you believe, success just happens. You don't hire for skills, you hire for attitude. You can always teach skills, i.e. attitudes that align with your culture. The goal is to hire those who are passionate about your WHY, your purpose, cause, or belief, and who have the attitude that fits your culture. Great companies don't hire skilled people and motivate them. They hire already motivated people and inspire them. Asterisk people are either motivated or they are not. Unless you give motivated people something to believe in, something bigger than their job to work toward, they will motivate themselves to find a new job, and you'll be stuck with whoever's left. Figure out why your good employees are good fits. Then develop systems to find more of them. Great companies don't hire skilled people and motivate them. They hire already motivated people and inspire them. People are either motivated or they are not. Asterisk, unless you give motivated people something to believe in, something bigger than their job to work toward, they will motivate themselves to find a new job, and you'll be stuck with whoever's left. We trust people who will fit in our communities. If you think of hiring a babysitter, you're more likely to hire a local teen than an old, more experienced person who is new in town, because they are part of your community. You trust them. Why is it that we take the opposite approach in business? Only when individuals can trust the culture organization will they take personal risks in order to advance that culture organization as a whole. For no other reason than, in the end, it's good for their own personal health and survival. Great. Organizations become great because the people inside the organization feel protected. There's a strong sense of culture, creates a sense of belonging, and acts like a net. People come to work knowing that their bosses, colleagues, and the organization, as a whole, will look out for them. Part 4. How to rally those who believe. Start with why. But know how the golden circle is actually a bird's eye view of a cone, which represents the three-dimensional structure of organizations. When you have a belief, what is just one of the ways of bringing that why to life? Often people don't know what they're going to do. They know what they believe, and they find their what along the way. For example, Simon Sinek believes in inspiring others. Writing a book is just one way of inspiring others. The leader sits at the top of the cone at the start. The point of WHY, while the how types sit below and are responsible for actually making things happen. The leader imagines the destination, and the how types find the route to get there. WHY types are optimists and see things others can't. They are visionary and see how they think the world should be. How types are more in the here and now. They're more rational and can get things done. Each type needs the other. When you look at any billion-dollar company, it is usually characterized by a partnership between a why and how type of person. For example, Steve Jobs was the visionary behind Apple. But Steve Wozniak was the how who made it happen. This relationship defines the difference between a vision and a mission statement. The vision is the purpose, whereas the mission is how the company will work towards its vision. It's no coincidence that the three-dimensional golden circle is a cone. It is, in practice, a megaphone. An organization effectively becomes the vessel through which a person with a clear purpose, cause, or belief can speak to the outside world. But for a megaphone to work, clarity must come first. Without a clear message, what will you amplify? Companies like Apple and Virgin innovate in any industry they like. They're not companies, more like social movements. They create change. Know why? Know how? Then what? To put it bluntly, the struggle that so many companies have to differentiate or communicate their true value to the outside world is not a business problem. It's a biology problem. We use symbols. We create tangible things for those who believe. What we believe to point to and say, that's why I'm inspired. If done properly, that's what marketing, branding, and products and services become. A way for organizations to communicate to the outside world. Communicate clearly and you shall be understood. If what you do doesn't prove what you believe, then no one will know what your WHY is, and you'll be forced to compete on price, service, quality, features, and benefits. The stuff of commodities. It is not just WHAT or how you do things that matters. What matters more is that WHAT and how you do things are consistent with your WHY. Only then will your practices indeed be best. The celery test. Imagine a range of friends say, you know what you need in your business? Oreos, rice, milk, M&Ms, and celery? You go to the supermarket and buy them all and you end up spending more than you need to. Plus, people in the queue are confused by you as you have such a mix of products. Instead, if you go to the supermarket and you believe in healthy living, you only buy rice, milk, and celery. As a result, you spend less money and the people in the queue can clearly see what you stand for. Your why allows you to filter people's advice and new information you receive. I.e., it has to pass the celery test. Part 5: The biggest challenge is success. When why goes fuzzy, Walmart began with the intention, the why, to help and serve people. They did this using a discounting method of selling goods. However, along the way, they lost sense of their why and forgot their purpose. They stopped caring about their employees. No one could explain what happened. It's a feeling in the part of the brain that has no capacity for language. So we blame size and money. Simon recalls attending the Gathering of Titans, where America's most successful entrepreneurs gather together. 80% have achieved their financial goals. Although 80% didn't feel successful, as their companies had grown, they had lost a sense of their why. They still knew what they did and how they did it, but their why had gone fuzzy. And of course, this was difficult to put into words. Achievement is something you reach or attain, like a goal. It is something tangible, clearly defined, and measurable. Success, in contrast, is a feeling or a state of being. She feels successful. She is successful, we say, using the verb to be to suggest this state of being. In my vernacular, achievement comes when you pursue and attain what you want. Success comes when you are clear in pursuit of why you want it. More importantly, some people, while in pursuit of success, simply mistake WHAT they achieve as the final destination. This is the reason they never feel satisfied, no matter how big their yacht is, no matter how much they achieve. For great leaders, the golden circle is in balance. They are in pursuit of WHY. They hold themselves accountable to how they do it, and WHAT they do serves as the tangible proof of what they believe. Part 6. Discover why. The origins of a why. The WHY does not come from looking ahead at what you want to achieve and figuring out an appropriate strategy to get there. It is not born out of any market research. It does not come from extensive interviews with customers or even employees. It comes from looking in the completely opposite direction from where you are now. Finding WHY is a process of discovery, not invention. Learning the WHY of a company or an organization, or understanding the WHY of any social movement, always starts with one thing. An organization's why comes from the founder and their beliefs. This is often something they believe long before their organization exists. It's a cause that drives them constantly. The new competition. When you compete against everyone else, no one wants to help you. But when you compete against yourself, everyone wants to help you. Those who forget why they were founded show up to the race every day to outdo someone else instead of outdoing themselves. Leadership requires two things: a vision of the world that does not yet exist and the ability to communicate it. In conclusion, the concept of starting with why applies to all businesses in the broadest sense. Services, tourist destinations, countries, and even careers can benefit from a well-developed understanding of the why in their business.